pulls those when it starts.
Everybody, welcome back. Today's going to be a fun day. We're going to go up to a tractor show that the club is putting on in conjunction with a farm supply store that's up in town. So my dad's got a couple of tractors loaded up, and I am planning on taking the Model A behind me. So in last week's video, you saw me come in and I redid all of the steering on the tractor. So that's in good shape now, but what I do need to do is swap out that starter. That's something I've been procrastinating. And so before I take it to the show, I've got to get that done. So in a previous video, you probably remember me rebuilding that starter. And now I'm just going to swap it out with this one. So let me just drop that one real quick, and then we'll throw this one up in its place. So as normal, we're under a little bit of a time crunch. So I've got to channel my inner NASCAR pit crew and get this thing switched out lickety-split. Okay, we're about 8 minutes in, and I got this starter out. Now, steal this, steal that, and let's put that one in. Time. 24 minutes. That is definitely a world record. Now we've got everything hooked up down here. Let's hook up the battery and make sure that there's no sparks shooting. And then let's push this foot pedal down, and hopefully this tractor just spins over nice and easily. Okay, here's the moment of truth. Let's give it some throttle. We're in neutral. That starter worked great. The tractor didn't want to start for a minute, but that starter was fantastic. So excited. Okay, the A is looking pretty clean right now, but one thing that I do need to do is put this new flywheel cover on. This is a flywheel cover that I pulled out of the field of my dad's neighbors, and I went through and I straightened some dents on it, and I repainted it, and I'm really pleased with how well it turned out, especially considering the fact that I am not a body guy and I did this on the cheap. I'm going to throw this on, and then we just have to put the medallion on the front, load it, and we're off. I got that all done, and that looks really nice. I'm really happy with how well that turned out. I don't know if I told you, the reason I decided to replace this flywheel cover was mainly because on mine, someone had torched this hole out, and so it was really big and had melted steel dripping everywhere. So this one is nice and clean. It is for a later model. You can see because it has that timing window on it, but that's not a big deal. Okay, let's get hooked up to the trailer and get this thing loaded. A backup camera is the greatest invention for hooking up a trailer. Well, we got it unloaded. It's always fun to be out here, and we got a pretty good turnout today. And most of them are John Deere's. Okay, beside my A, we've got this old A, 1935, I think. It doesn't have a serial tag, but there's a couple of clues, and someone correct me if I'm wrong, but it does have the open fan shaft right here, and I think in 1936 that went away because I think ours is a 36, and it has a fully enclosed fan shaft. Anyway, you always have to love a nice set of spoked wheels. That one's got them in the back and in the front. Real nice. We'll go back over here on this back row. Here we have a nice little John Deere H with the lift pump. Now our H does not have a lift pump on it, and I think it's a little bit older than this one. This one, having the different front rims, is I think a newer one. Not positive. But my favorite thing about the H is the fact that the clutch runs off of the camshaft rather than the flywheel. And so as you're driving, you know, the engine is turning over this direction. However, on an H, since this is on the camshaft, it's rotating the opposite direction. Pretty cool. Here's another A. This is a nice wide front A, and this one was just recently painted. It looks brand new. And they've got these massive weights on the back. I don't know how much those weigh. Then we've got a nice little Ford 9N custom paint job. Next to it is a Farmall A. Beautifully painted this one is. Next to it is a Massey Harris 22. And this has a nice little flathead 4-cylinder Continental engine. If you look up there, you can kind of, I don't know if you can see. And pulling this, or this is pulling a 2-row case corn planter. Farmall Super C. I've told you this before, but this is the same tractor that we saw abandoned in a field about 2 years ago, and look how nicely it looks now. Next to it is a big old McCormick Deering or a Farmall F30. And then this is a 1936 BO, as you can see there. But this has a smaller engine than our BO, which I think is a 1940. This one is, what, 12 horsepower? Yeah, 14 horsepower. Compared to ours is probably around 20. And this one has these bigger cast rims on the back. And this is a nice little 420. It's pretty much a carbon copy of our 430. Nice little tractor. Has a really nice 3-point hitch on the back. Pretty heavy duty for a small little utility tractor like this, you know. And then this is my dad's M. I mean, you've seen me do plenty on this. We plant with this, and this is a nice little tractor that we rebuilt several years ago. And it gets used quite a bit. And then beautifully restored 820. You've seen this on plenty of my plow day videos. It runs like a top and looks even better. And then here's our, we go from probably, well, pretty much the biggest 2-cylinder to, well, pretty much the smallest 2-cylinder that Deere ever made. This is our LA. We pulled that out of the field and it was in rough shape too. But we got it right here. Here it is. It's running good now. And this is something that's really cool. It's a stationary D. So I think it's a 1946 model. It's a new guy in the club. He showed up with this today. I've never seen it before, but man, it runs well. And it spent its life running a pump down in southern Utah for some residents. And then this is a giant electric generator that's connected to. So it's a 15 kilowatt generator right here. But it's got it set up here. This generator came off of a reservation down in either Arizona or New Mexico, where it was used to power several houses. Man, that's really cool. Yep. 4 big old V-belts on it. That's way cool. I'll see if I can piece in a clip I have of it running. It was running right when we got here. Makes the whole trailer just shake. Here, if I turn this, it changes the load on the engine. So if I turn it up just barely, very fine adjustment. You can kill the engine with this, he said. Okay, everybody, I think that's going to do it for today's video. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you had a lot of fun. I hope you saw some cool stuff. I know I did. Seeing that Model D stationary engine, being around that thing, hearing it run, that was way cool. And I hope that encourages you to go out and find a club. Find people around you who are into the same stuff as you and join them. Hang out with them. Learn from them. You don't have to have a lot of nice new equipment. You don't have to have any equipment. But by being around these people, you will learn. And I think that's what this whole thing is about. So thank you so much, guys. I'll see you next week with another video.